Well, hello there, everyone. Here to show you right here is that we had got right here is a Canon scanner and like for an all-in-one office jet it is, and basically that you have right here for wireless printer. But anyway, but you see right here is we had got this scanner and fax line like unit right here, and basically what you see right here is like you got the units say inside the box right here. So knowing about this, you're taking it out of the box, and knowing about taking it out of the box right here, you have right here is see right here is like you got right here is the cable cords. The cable cord right here, you guys see besides the power supply, and then along with with the ink cartridges, and then on your hand that you got right here is the telephone wire. But other than that, anybody that may say that you have right here is you got right here is a few connector jacks right here. You got right here is the phone, and then it looks right here you have this type of connector port right here. I think it's a USB. I think the USB or something like that goes there. Alright, and then here right here's the power supply. If you can connect it to like another secondary printer, and you got here is the wrapping right here. It's like out there is the wrapping. And you have right here is you got here a few buttons right here, let's say with the menu, and then on your hand it's like the black, and of course it's like with the color, and then it's like you say hooking up is a fax line. It's like, but on your hand that we may think about is like whenever we connect to say a fax machine, it is that you have one part like for the port it is. For the port you have is the telephone line. The telephone line, that means say if you have it connected to the fax machine, have it connected to an answer machine from the fax machine, and then from there, and then after that, and then you would it's like you place say for the filter. A filter like this right here, the filter that plugs directly is like to the telephone connector line, and then from there, and then it goes to say to the telephone unit. But other than that, I talk with telephones, like when most of the time with most telephones. Magic Jack could come in handy, especially if you want to go ahead and work it out for say if it's going to be like for long distance service. Anyway, hello everyone. You have right here, is like the power supply. The power supply for the printer, along say the fax machine, and right here is the ink cartridges. Anybody that may wonder though, with most ink cartridges, that it's like with the cartridge type that a lot of times it's like you have right here is the 241, and you also have right here is the 240. And anybody that may wonder that with most ink printers, it is that what is the difference between, it's like you have right here is the black and then the color, but then on your hand too we may think that maybe all printers that may work the same, but then of course it could be the make and the model as well. It's like tough to say with the make and the model. And talking about it's like with the make and the model, and we may wonder that if we want to go ahead and get a copy of something or fax something, anybody may think of like that let's just say if I were to go ahead and hand draw this right here, hand draw this coloring right here portrait, and then let's just say if I want to go ahead and fax it to somebody, anybody think about like that, who wants to see black and white? Well, I know about who wants to see black and white, or like who wants to see color, and what about that really, if it's the same thing as like for what this does, or for any laser printer, or if it's for it's like for color. But on the other hand too, that knowing about that we may think though that between say what you call for the original, and of course, and then on your hand too for whenever it goes through the telephone line, and then it comes through is like really that go by say blank page and knowing about like that we can we really tell the difference between what you call is the original, and of course say for for the copying is for between the copying and knowing about talk about say for the original, talk about say how where it's like the fax line is talk about like know about say for the printers, and of course stay setup process, knowing about like for what is like we're done, like talk say you're careful here for the job. Speaking of Java, knowing about if we were to be installing a new unit, such as a fax machine or if it's any type of inkjet it is, and basically that with most of the time with most products nowadays that they would usually run by the wireless, but let's just say that you have right here is in the back of the machine right here of this Canon is like you have this Canon is a machine system it is. That say the Canon that is the faxing along with working with the cables right here, but that right there, like for the power supply, I'm like, let's see here if I can go in and get that in there. I'm like that. All right, looks like that. That went in there, just barely. I guess it's got to be put in there tight, but. Other than that would go in there just like that, and then from here, this right here will be is like say the line, and for line for the extension. So that basically means that the line directly from the phone line will go into there, but then this line right here, I guess it's called a plug-in or something like that. I guess something that. It needs to be, I guess you say that don't, it needs to be removed, if it's not in use. Now, I don't know, anybody may think about it, it's like a disposable capsule or a cap or some, disposable plug, is that, that this could more likely be discarded if you were to go ahead and plug an extra phone into there, and, like use it for like, if you want to make ingoing or outgoing calls. But, other than that, like, anybody probably say that more likely a filter is more likely recommended if you would go ahead and be using that port is. But, knowing about right here, as you have right here, knowing about exactly about how the plugs work, and then on your hand too, you have right here's the plug right there. Yeah, right here is like I say a printer tray, and I want to say it's taped down. But other than that, I would assume that this right here somewhere would indicate that there was power coming through. But basically, whenever we send a fax, that usually a lot of times they have to see these symbols right here. It's usually the way I would think about it, that the one that means for scan and fax, that this more I'm assuming this symbol right here means fax, and then you would type in the number for where it needs to go, and then you would go ahead and click if you want it black or white, it's like for start, and then click OK. But on your hand too, I've not read the directions yet, but I am assuming that more likely anybody probably say about that, knowing about whenever you get a new unit it is. That, everything just looks so easy from whenever you look at it, but then it looks pretty complicated to the point to where anybody that may think of, I'm like, yeah, that about time to set it to the side. But on the other hand too, that knowing about, I'm like, yeah, that whenever you buy something that you want to put in your own home, we all think about it. If it's going to be what you call, maybe if it's a television set, whichever it is, and knowing about, really, did you want to spend the extra time just to figure it out? Or if the fact about if it's going to get you somewhere, but knowing about right here, talk about safe for it, so far as activity jobs.